On, it is Intelligent Psycho back here with another movie review, and this time is for From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. And this movie is taking place and it's directed by Len Wiseman, also produced by Chad Stahelski. And this stars, of course, Ana de Armas as E. Macarro, as Ian McShane as Winston, Angelica Houston, and lasting appearances from Lance Reddick, works in the Continental, um, Keanu Reeves as Baby Yaga, John Wick, and many more. So this is kind of taking place during the events of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, and before the events of John Wick Chapter 4 take place in between that span of time where, and ordinarily this taking place during the timeline like eons ago where Ana de Armas' character as Eve Macarro, her and her father were pretty much bonding, and they end up turnabouts for a play where murder happens, but the murder happens end up taking place where her father, she sees the last of her father, and it turns out the murder that she ends up finding later on down the line in the film turns out to be the person that she is turns out the person that she ends up working up under works for a high powering cult and a organization that is out in the area in Moscow as she looks to go find and on a revenge tale to try to find her killer. And she ends up working in training sessions in Ruska, Roma, which is run by the director played by Angelica Houston, where she works as trains as a ballerina, and she works on her ballerina dancing. She also works, to be this trained assassin killer and to be on the same similar playing field, similar level like John Wick and like the Baby Yaga in certain elements and spades. Now going into this film, I did not expect, you know, I didn't expect anything less to be a high pace, high octane action set piece, just incredibly gifted and just really good, whimsical, high flying uh, action, shootouts, guns ablazing. I just wanted to be entertained with an exhilarating, thrilling action movie. And just like the rest of the John Wick films, you're not gonna really find a lot of plot, a lot of not a really creative storytelling or anything. And this is like pretty much the rest of the other films, a typical revenge tale story with the high octane pace of action and generally a solid and welcoming and at the same time motivational and pretty tactical, meticulous villain. And we got that from Gabriel Byrne, who plays as the Chancellor in the film, and I'll explain him later on down the road. But while she's training in Rosca, Roma, she ends up wanting to know more about, the killers that went after of her father. Wanted to know about her father's killers. Want to know about this organization that she ends up going after. The director doesn't tell her much, so she ends up on an assigned mission, and an assigned mission is to save these particular Chinese ambassadors in order for her to grant them morality and safety. And also, what I noticed in the film was a lot of high octane, high pace choreography, and also a lot of practical stunt work, a lot of practical action set pieces. It didn't feel like anything, no CGI or anything was even bothered. And you could tell that on Ana de Armas as Eve, she did her own stunt work because the way it's crafted in this film was very, very just straightforward, blunt, fast, quick pace, quick whip. It didn't miss any kind of notes. It didn't miss any kind of beats. It just kept going and going and going from the beginning of the first 5 to 10 minutes all the way through. But I'll start off with the negatives. I know I usually do my pros and cons and then my overall summary. But I'll start with the negatives, my cons. And the biggest cons through the movie is mainly, like I said before, the plot. It's just a stereotypical revenge tale story like most of the John Wick films are. It's not really anything noteworthy or anything special. And sometimes I think it plays itself and it wastes too much of its own good in some instances because the story and the subplots don't really carry along, and that could be of an issue and a little bit of a run. It really could carry a little bit of a runtime. And also, I didn't really like certain family angles and family dynamic and exposition that wasn't explained. So the main thing I said is a surprise twist and a surprise family reveal twist that I saw in the second half of the movie, and that didn't really work. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch it. It has mainly to do with when she finds more or less about her father's killer and targeted, and which is run under the chancellor, and it finds out more so about who is the mercenaries that's running under him. That finds out a family angle and a family dynamic that the story and the movie wants us to believe that really is wholeheartedly trying to be immersive and trying to be, hard hitting with that climax feel to it. It just didn't really work all that well to me. So I would say those are the biggest things that would be a disappointment for me. And also the character development of this one person who plays Lena. I didn't really like her character in the film. I thought she was kind of a bit underutilized, but those would be the main negatives about the movie that I would say. If you going into it, you don't want to expect anything that's, super level of excellent screenplay, original screenplay, or adapted screenplay. That kind of stuff, don't expect that in a John Wick film or anything of a spin-off series that has to do with an attachment to John Wick. But let me get into the main positives with this movie because, oh my goodness, this movie was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the overall action and the set pieces behind it, the fight sequences between Eve and, of course, these group of mercenaries, and also when they're in this village or in this town that's like really close in ties to like, closer ties and areas to Moscow. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal, man. Oh, that just blew me away, man. That blew me away. I thought when she was in the gun store trying to buy, more weapons and more arsenal from, this gun store clerk, and another group of police officers, another group of cops start coming in and start wrecking the whole store. And she ends up, it's a scene where she uses a whole bunch of grenades that she finds in, stuff in barrels. And boy, when she uses that to try to take down these group of cops and mercenaries, man, that scene was absolutely spectacular, bro. That was absolutely spectacular and just blew me away, man. And I really loved the explosive action and the visuals, man, that just really kept me going. What's going on, Halliburton is to go. Is underscore to go. What's going on? But yeah, that scene where she is throwing a grenade launcher, throwing a group of grenades to these group of cops and mercenaries. Oh man, that just blew me away, bro. That scene was just so phenomenal and well choreographed and well shot. And I could just tell in some action scenes that were pretty much done over again in reshoots. I can just tell that was done by Chad Stahelski, because I really don't think that Len Wiseman was really trying to put so much of his hands full onto it, because if he really was, it kind of really ruined that angle. Another scene that I really loved in the movie was the kitchen diner scene where she had a battle with some unknown rogue common criminal figure, whatever, and she had a scene going, and she had a battle between her and also after she killed him and stabbed him with a knife and gun, she ends up using a whole bunch of kitchen plates, dining room plates, and start going after the cook. And boy, that whole kitchen scene where she uses all them diner plates to go after the cook was just so dang crazy and so phenomenal. Just blew my socks off when I saw that scene. I was like, oh my god, I did not know what was gonna happen afterwards. And then of course she ends up escaping that, whole dining room, that whole dining area, man, and just blows that whole establishment up with blindfold with 10 colors, man. That whole scene just blew me absolutely away. Another scene that I really love is where she uses the flamethrower and shout out to my guy who played in Umbrella Academy as Diego, and he was involved in that one moment too, where she uses the flamethrowers and goes after Chancellor, the main villain, his group of men and group of men and mercenaries. When she uses that flamethrower to take them all out, take those guys all out, and she abandons that whole warehouse area, that was another good scene that really just tore me up, man. So those three moments throughout the movie just really took me by surprise. It really took me by an angle, and it also makes me just honestly believe that those probably are going to be some of my favorite moments and some of my favorite scenes if I had to do rankings of the scenes throughout this entire franchise, man. Because those were just some incredible moments that just took me aback, bruh, and just kept me in the loop. Another really good moment and a really good thing as a positive throughout was I really do like the development of Winston, Ian McShane in the film. He seems pretty much kind of like this guy that just gives this guy that just gives a lot of like personal advice, as Eve was going on this crazy rogue vengeance tale. He kind of just gives her a whole detailed storyline of who the bad guy she's going after. He gives her a rundown, and he pretty much just kind of just like lets her know what she's in for. I really do like that. Really do like that about him. And I really do love the appearances. Of course, Keanu Reeves as John Wick. Baby Yaga, as they kind of just said throughout. And he doesn't really take over anything in the movie. He kind of just lets Eve, do her thing, and he pretty much does his thing throughout as he goes out and battles and goes guns a-blazing and just shoots his way throughout certain moments in the film as well. So I really do like his appearances throughout the franchise, and doesn't really take anything away from what we mainly came to see. And he adds a whole lot to the movie and adds a whole lot to the plot. And it definitely, I got a feeling that this is going to allude to John Wick Part 5, because they've been saying that this is already in the works. And I think with his appearance in here, it's going to allude to John Wick Part 5. And it's going to allude to a lot of things that's what's happening. And once we saw that we had our last confrontation between Eve and the Chancellor trying to escape with Daniel Pine and Norman Reedus. I didn't mention him. Norman Reedus, another really good thing about the movie is Norman Reedus' character is Daniel Pine, who he also has a $4 million bond on his head that the people inside and the people outside the Continental and the people inside of Ruska, Roma, that they made calls to, had made founding reports on trying to look for Daniel Pine and look to try to kidnap and take his daughter Ella from him, and try to kill him. Mainly the Chancellor was trying to do that, as a way of just showing his dominance. So that's another thing that would be an element through the movie that I really enjoy, was really the really outstanding character development that we saw, that we kind of got a really good grip on, and really just show us who we really should or shouldn't care about, who we really saw, and who we really are going to be rooting for and rooting against. So that'd be the main thing I would say as a huge positive. And Norman Reedus as Daniel Pine serves a purpose too, because he has a good heartfelt moment between him and his daughter Ella that I really like. It really came to me that this is not just a movie where it's just typically your blockbuster action film. It has some heartfelt moments in here as well. A lot of good heartfelt moments and a lot of good interactions too that you can tear up in some ways if you once you really get down, once you really get to it, especially in the second half, that really gets to it. So overall, my thoughts about John Wick, Ballerina from the world of John Wick, excuse me. It is an absolute spectacle, blockbuster, entertaining action flick that will keep you invested and keep you interested, and further entails on what could be possibly going for the future. Now, could it be a sequel? Could it be a sequel to this spinoff here, or could it be alluding to what's going to happen in John Wick 5? We have to wait and see for yourself what could possibly happen. And no, there's no end credit scenes in here for anybody who's wondering. There's no end credit scenes. So going into it, you don't have to stay after to watch anything that comes after, because there's nothing that happens. But for me, definitely something I would continue to definitely something that would you can continue to keep your eyes on. And also another thing that I really enjoyed about it was how much how much how much it keeps you going. It keeps you how much it keeps you entertained, how much it keeps you focused on the main character. And no, there was no agenda in the film. There's no agenda. There's no um, male dominant like presence or figures or anything like that. That a lot of people will try to run and complain about. No, this film keeps you invested. It keeps you in tune. And I had fun. I had a great time watching it. Kept a smile on my face, and I was really entertained throughout. The action kept me so much invested in, and I really was gonna wonder what's gonna happen in this world and what could be happening next. And as we saw towards the tail end, um, he was at like a musical, like a Broadway play, and she sees and looks at her phone, and a lot of folks in this theater was looking at their phones and saw that she had a $5 million bounty on her head, as though she completed her assignment and completed her own Venge Tale mission that she was going after to try to complete what could be the case of war that could be infringed upon between Ruska people inside of Ruska Roma and the folks that was running up under the Chancellor. That could be something that could be in the future for many more moons to come. So yeah, that is just my thoughts about Ballerina. If I had to rank and score this film, I would say I give it about a I give it about a 8.5 out of 10, and I would give it a 3.5 out of 4 stars. I was battling between this. Uh, I was battling between 3.5 and 4, but the only reason I give it a 3.5 is I do take certain points away from the story and the subplot aspect of it. But as far as the character development, as far as the action and the action set pieces and the fight choreography was absolutely brilliantly well done and well made and well mastered. So that's just how I feel about this one, man. So tell me what you guys think about Ballerina. Will you guys go and see it in the movie theaters, or will you just watch it, free or watch it on streaming on Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, or wherever? And tell me what you guys think about it when you do see it. And also rank your favorite John Wick movies, including this one as well if you have seen it. And tell me why. And tell me why you rank the ones that you ranked a certain way. And also tell me your favorite scenes in Ballerina, and tell me your and name your top 5 favorite scenes um, throughout the whole franchise down in the comment section below. So let me know about that, and I'll get back to you. So also, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. I am out. Peace.